when the weight of the world is crushing your chest, when your knees are buckling beneath burdens no one sees, when your prayers bounce off the ceiling and silence wraps around your soul like a cold grave, remember this: you are not abandoned, you are being anointed. Mountaintops are for views and inspiration, but fruit is grown in the valleys, Billy Graham once said. And oh, how we forget that. We crave the peaks, we long for the light, but it is in the darkness, in the drought, in the delay, in the depression, that God is doing His deepest, most divine work. This isn't the end. It's not even a detour. It's the very path He chose to forge you, not to forsake you. Right now, someone listening to this is at the edge of surrender. You've cried tears no one has seen. You've suffered silently, feeling like heaven went mute while hell turned up the volume. But hear me in the Spirit. God's silence is not His absence. It is His strategy. The silence is sacred. The silence is surgical. It's the operating room of destiny, where God removes what doesn't belong and implants what you'll need to carry what's coming. That silence is fire, not the fire that destroys, but the fire that purifies, that strengthens, that prepares. Your enemies thought the silence meant defeat, but what they didn't know is that God hides His greatest warriors in stillness before He unveils them in victory. Billy Graham, a man who shook continents with the gospel, wasn't born on a stage. He was forged in obscurity, refined in quiet obedience, baptized in the fire of delay, loneliness, and tests unseen by the world. Comfort and prosperity have never enriched the world as much as adversity has, he said. And maybe that's exactly what you're living through right now. Adversity that doesn't make sense, but is making you make history. You were never meant to break under this pressure. You were meant to break through. That heartbreak, it's not punishment, it's preparation. That delay, it's not denial, it's divine alignment. That betrayal, it's not defeat, it's God pruning your circle to protect your purpose. Every burden you're carrying is building a bridge to break through. Let this hit your spirit like lightning. God does not waste pain, and neither should you. You've been handpicked by heaven to walk through hell so others don't have to. You're a blood-bought warrior clothed in grace and destined for glory. And if you could see what's waiting on the other side of your obedience, you would never doubt His process again. He's not ignoring you. He's igniting you. Right now in the spiritual realm, angels are moving. Doors are shifting, chains are breaking. Why? Because you didn't give up. Because you dared to believe that your Redeemer lives, even when all evidence said He was silent. Billy Graham declared, "The will of God will not take us where the grace of God cannot sustain us." And that's the truth pounding in your chest. The reason you are still standing, still breathing, still believing, even with broken dreams and blistered feet, is because grace is carrying you where strength cannot. That grace is a flame inside of you that hell cannot extinguish. Let me speak directly to your soul. You are being trained, not tortured. You are being equipped, not erased. The waiting room is not a prison. It's a classroom. God is sharpening your discernment. He's toughening your spirit. He's rewiring your reactions so you'll no longer fight like a victim, but rise like a victor. That pain was not pointless. It was prophetic. The nights you thought you were dying, God was birthing something eternal in you. The prayers that felt unanswered, they were stored like sacred seeds. And the rain is coming, get ready, because when it pours, it won't just quench your thirst. It will flood your life with the promises of God that were never denied, only delayed for the appointed hour. And that hour is drawing near. Don't curse the process, Don't abort the mission. Don't bow to bitterness. Let Billy Graham's legacy remind you the Christian life is not a constant high. I have my moments of deep discouragement. I have to go to God in prayer with tears in my eyes and say, "Oh God, forgive me," or "Help me." Even he had to fall on his face. Even he had to plead through the pain. And if Billy Graham needed that kind of intimacy with God, so do you. Not perfection, not performance, just proximity to the one who sees you, hears you, and is still working all things together for your good. Yes, all things, not just the good reports and happy moments, but the cancer diagnosis, the divorce papers, the betrayal that stabbed you in the back, the job loss, the depression, the dark nights where suicide whispered lies and you nearly listened. Even those things, because God is the only one who takes what was meant for your destruction and turns it into resurrection. He doesn't just restore what you lost, He makes it better than it ever was. And that's not just a poetic promise, it's a prophetic one. But you must endure the weight before you can carry the crown. Right now, I want you to see yourself differently. You are not weak. You are not forgotten. You are not behind. You are being hidden, not buried. Covered, not condemned. Cultivated, not cursed. God's delay is not a divine dismissal. It's a setup for supernatural elevation. Feel the shift in your spirit. That heaviness, it's lifting. That fog, it's clearing. That voice that said, "You're done," it just got drowned out by the voice of the one who said, "It is finished." Every lie from the pit of hell that said you'll never make it, we break it now in Jesus' name. Every generational curse, every cycle of defeat, every whisper of worthlessness, gone. Replaced with truth, replaced with power, replaced with anointing that doesn't just touch nations, it transforms them. Because you were born for this. You are not just someone who goes to church, you are the church, a walking revival, a living, breathing testimony that God still raises the dead, still parts the seas, still moves mountains, and yes, still uses broken people to bring heaven to earth. Billy Graham didn't wait until he had it all together to preach. He stepped out in faith and watched God multiply his mustard seed into a global harvest. And so will you. You've been looking at your life through the lens of pain. Now shift it, see it through the lens of purpose. That pain, that was the push. That struggle, that was the stretch. That wilderness, that was the womb. You are not the same person who entered the fire. You are stronger, sharper, sanctified. And when you come out, because you will come out, you won't even smell like smoke. And you'll carry glory. And others will look at you and wonder how you survive. But you'll smile and say, because God walked me through it. When I couldn't walk, He carried me. And when I wanted to quit, He whispered, keep going. I'm not done. Hear that now. He's not done. If your lungs have breath, your life has purpose. And if your heart is still beating, your destiny is still unfolding. So rise, warrior, wipe your tears, stand tall, and echo the words of Billy Graham, that now thunder from eternity. I read the last page of the Bible. It's all going to turn out all right. Yes, it will. Not because of who you are, but because of who He is. Unchanging, unshaken, unstoppable. The same God who called Billy Graham is calling you, not to just survive, but to thrive, to step into rooms you didn't qualify for, to speak into souls that have given up, to carry healing where there was once only hurt. So when life feels heavy, let Billy Graham's words lift you. Let God's promises ignite you. And let this truth sustain you. You are chosen, you are called, and you are about to rise like never before. 1. The weight of life and the thunderous promise of hope. set the stage with raw acknowledgement of life's crushing burdens, but immediately thrust the listener into a realm of hope through Billy Graham's words. Capture that visceral pain and contrast it with the unshakable promise of divine purpose. 2. God's silence is a holy furnace, not abandonment. Reframe silence not as God's absence, but as His fierce refining fire, a sacred space where faith is tested, character forged, and greatness ignited. This section is the spiritual crucible where transformation happens. 3. Every pain, delay, and setback is divine training. Break down the trials of life as deliberate spiritual sharpening. Position hardships as the workshops of warriors designed by God to prepare chosen ones for higher destinies, calling listeners to embrace their own training ground. 4. Grace sustains the weary. Faith carries the journey. Highlight the sustaining power of God's grace during the darkest moments, inspired by Billy Graham's honest struggles. Encourage proximity to God over perfection and invite listeners to lean into divine strength. 5. From brokenness to breakthrough, the power of divine restoration. Declare that pain and suffering are never wasted, but used for supernatural elevation. Proclaim the transformative power of God who restores beyond what was lost, preparing listeners for their imminent breakthrough. 6. Rise, warrior destiny awaits. Close with an electrifying call to action. Declare the listener as a chosen warrior destined for glory and victory. Use Billy Graham's legacy to inspire bold faith and unstoppable courage, leaving the audience ignited and ready to rise. The weight of life and the thunderous promise of hope. There are moments when life feels unbearably heavy, when the weight on your shoulders is so crushing, so relentless, that every breath feels like a battle. Maybe you're walking through a storm of loss, rejection, failure, or despair. Maybe the dreams you held close are shattered, and the silence around your prayers deafens you. The world keeps moving, but you feel stuck, alone, invisible, broken. If this is you, hear me loud and clear. You are not alone, and this heaviness you carry is not the end of your story. It's a chapter, a powerful, pivotal chapter where God is writing something extraordinary through your pain. Billy Graham, a man who inspired millions and stood unshaken through decades of trials, once said, "Mountaintops are for views and inspiration, but fruit is grown in the valleys." So many of us chase the mountaintops, success, happiness, ease. Yet God is working in the valleys where it's dark, hard, and lonely. That's where your faith is being tested and your character is being shaped. When life presses down on you, when it feels like hope is slipping through your fingers, remember this: the valley is where fruit grows. Your pain is the soil in which your future harvest is rooted. Your tears water seeds of resilience, courage, and strength that will one day bloom into the glorious testimony you were born to live. So don't despair. Don't give up. When life feels heavy, and it will, let Billy Graham's words lift you up. Let them remind you that every weight, every tear, every broken dream is not wasted, but is preparing you for a destiny far greater than you can imagine. The promise of hope is louder than the pain. God's silence is a holy furnace, not abandonment. When you cry out in desperation and hear only silence, it's easy to feel forsaken, as if God has turned His back and left you to drown in your pain. But that silence, that stillness, it is not a sign that God has abandoned you. No, it is the sound of the divine furnace burning hot and fierce, refining your faith, purifying your spirit, and forging your destiny. Billy Graham understood this sacred truth. The silence between your prayers is not a void, but a crucible. It's the place where God's fire removes the dross, every doubt, every fear, every weakness, until only the purest gold remains. This fire may scorch and burn, but it never destroys the soul that trusts in Him. In the holy furnace of silence, faith is not given, it is earned. It is tested beyond comfort and convenience until it becomes unshakable. And greatness is not born in ease, but in endurance. This silence is God's way of telling you, I am working even when you cannot see or hear me. I am shaping you in ways you cannot yet understand. So when life feels unbearably quiet and God seems distant, resist the temptation to give up or doubt. Remember, the stillness is not emptiness. It is a sacred workshop where your spirit is sharpened and your purpose is being carved out by the hands of the Almighty. The silence is a fierce love, sometimes hard, sometimes painful, but always intentional. It is the holy fire that separates the spectators from the soldiers, the dreamers from the doers, and the believers from the warriors. This furnace is where God's chosen are made ready. It is the birthplace of the unstoppable faith that will one day move mountains. So embrace the silence. Let it burn away what holds you back, and prepare yourself to rise, refined and radiant by the power of God's holy fire. Every pain, delay, and setback is divine training. The hardest truth you must face is this: every trial, every heartbreak, every delay is not random. It is divine training. It's not punishment. It's preparation. God is not wasting your pain. He is using it as a spiritual sharpening tool to transform you from a fragile soul into an unbreakable warrior. Billy Graham once said, "Comfort and prosperity have never enriched the world as much as adversity has." This is the secret behind every hero's journey. The battles you hate, the setbacks that shame you, the doors that slam in your face, they are God's way of saying, you're not ready yet, but I'm getting you there. This training doesn't happen on the mountaintop where everything is easy and the view is clear. It happens in the trenches, in the wilderness, in the waiting room where time stretches and faith is stretched even more. Here, every moment of pain is a lesson. Every delay is a test of patience. Every setback is a signal to dig deeper, to hold tighter to God's promises. You are being shaped for a higher calling, a purpose so great that it demands a stronger, sharper version of you. The storms you face are not designed to drown you, but to teach you how to swim upstream against the fiercest currents. Each scar you carry is proof of a battle survived and a victory won. So stop asking, why me? And start asking, what for? What is God training you for in this season of hardship? What character is He building that no classroom or comfort zone ever could? Your pain is the divine forge. Your setbacks are the spiritual gym. Your delays are the holy rehearsal. Embrace them. Learn from them. Let them mold you into the warrior God destined you to be. Because when you step out of this fire, you will not just survive, you will thrive. Your destiny depends on it. Grace sustains the weary. Faith carries the journey. There are moments when your strength runs dry, when your soul feels like it's been stripped bare, and the road ahead looks endless and impossible. In those moments, it's not your strength that will carry you, it's God's grace. Grace is the invisible, unstoppable force that sustains the weary and lifts the broken. It is the holy breath that fills your lungs when you think you can no longer breathe. Billy Graham, despite his global influence and spiritual victories, was no stranger to deep discouragement. He confessed, "I have my moments of deep discouragement. I have to go to God in prayer with tears in my eyes." If the great evangelist needed grace to keep moving forward, then so do you. It's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of honest faith. Grace doesn't ask for perfection. It meets you where you are, messy, hurting, doubting, and says, I am enough. It is the bridge between where you are and where God is taking you. When your legs fail, grace becomes your strength. When your heart breaks, grace becomes your healer. When your mind battles fear, grace becomes your peace. Faith is the anchor in the storm. It is the choice to trust God's promises even when you can't see how they will come to pass. It is saying yes to hope even when the evidence points to despair. Grace sustains you, but faith carries you forward one step, one prayer, one breath at a time. So when you feel like giving up, lean into this truth. God's grace is sufficient. His power is made perfect in your weakness. You are not alone. You are not forgotten. You are held by the one who promises to never leave you. Let grace sustain you. Let faith carry you. Your breakthrough is closer than you think. From brokenness to breakthrough, the power of divine restoration. There is a divine alchemy in God's hands, a supernatural power that takes brokenness and turns it into breakthroughs, scars into stars, and despair into destiny. No pain, no loss, no mistake is wasted in His economy. The God who created the universe is also the God who restores shattered dreams and makes beauty rise from ashes. Billy Graham knew this deeply. He once said, I've read the last page of the Bible, it's all going to turn out all right. This is not empty optimism, it's prophetic certainty. No matter how dark the night, no matter how deep the valley, the story is never finished until God says it's finished. If you are broken today, listen carefully. Your brokenness is the soil from which your breakthrough will grow. The losses you've mourned, the opportunities that slipped through your fingers, the relationships that failed. God is rewriting every chapter. He is not just restoring what was lost. He is preparing to multiply it beyond what you imagined. Every setback is a setup for a comeback. Every closed door is an invitation to a greater opportunity. Every tear you have shed is watering the fields of your future joy. This is the power of divine restoration. The miraculous ability to turn tragedy into triumph, pain into purpose, and silence into celebration. You are not defined by your failures, your scars, or your past. You are defined by the God who redeems, renews, and restores. And He is working in your life right now, behind the scenes, crafting a comeback so powerful that it will shake your world and inspire generations. So hold fast. Keep believing. Your breakthrough is not just coming, it's already on its way. When God restores, He restores exceedingly abundantly above all you can ask or think. This is your season of restoration. Get ready to ride. Rise, warrior, destiny awaits. Now is the moment to stand up, to shake off the dust of discouragement, and to rise with the unstoppable power of the Almighty fueling your every step. You are not here by accident. You are a warrior, chosen, called, and equipped for a divine mission that only you can fulfill. Billy Graham lived a life marked by courage and conviction. His legacy is a blazing fire of faith that challenges you today. Rise up. Fight. Believe. The battles you have faced, the mountains you have climbed, the valleys you have endured, they have all prepared you for this very hour. You are forged in fire, sharpened by trials, and sustained by grace. You carry within you the power to overcome every obstacle, to break every chain, and to walk boldly into the destiny God has crafted for you. No weapon formed against you will prosper, because your faith is anchored in the one who holds the universe. Don't shrink back. Don't let fear or doubt steal your calling. This is your time to rise above the noise, above the pain, and above every limitation that once held you captive. The warrior in you is awake now. roaring with the strength of heaven. God's plan for your life is bigger than your past mistakes, bigger than your current struggles, bigger than any voice that tells you you can't. The voice that matters most is God's, and He is shouting, "Arise, shine, for your light has come." So rise up with boldness, step into your purpose with unshakable faith, walk forward with courage that defies every doubt. Your destiny is not just a dream, it is a divine reality waiting for your obedience. You are made to conquer, you were born to triumph. Now rise, warrior, your destiny awaits. Conclusion, your moment to rise. When life feels unbearably heavy and the silence of God seems endless, remember this: you are not forgotten, you are not forsaken, and your pain is not in vain. Every trial, every delay, every tear has been part of a divine process, shaping you, refining you, and preparing you for a destiny that will shake the heavens. Billy Graham's life was a testament to this truth. Faith is forged in the fires of struggle, and hope rises strongest from the depths of despair. The weight you carry today is the very weight that will make you strong enough to carry your purpose tomorrow. God's silence is not absence. It is a holy furnace, burning away doubt and fear, forging unshakable faith. Your setbacks are not failures, but divine training designed to prepare you for greatness. God's grace will sustain you when your strength fades, and His power will restore all that was lost, multiplied beyond measure. So now, with every fiber of your being, rise up. Rise as a warrior refined by fire, sustained by grace, and driven by divine destiny. Let your faith roar louder than your fear. Let your hope burn brighter than your pain. This is your moment. The valley is your proving ground. The silence is your calling. The brokenness is your breakthrough. And the warrior inside you is ready to conquer. Walk boldly into your future with the confidence that God's hand is upon you, His power flows through you, and His purpose will never fail. When life feels heavy, let Billy Graham's words lift you up. And let your spirit rise unstoppable, unshakable, and undeniably victorious. Your destiny awaits. Now go claim it.